All characters are fictional. Any coincidences are random. Let's consider such a utopian situation. Animals on the farm unexpectedly gained intelligence. As a result of an urgent meeting at the United Nations, a resolution was passed that henceforth it is not allowed to kill animals on the farm, but it is permissible to shear, milk, and collect eggs. Farmers faced problems: what to do with the intelligence of chickens, cows, and sheep. Animals are eager to assert their rights, gathering in unions, and refusing to be milked and sheared. The young animal intelligence begins to create, write poetry, compose music, sing songs, draw, make sculptures, design and build beautiful houses, plant trees, flowers, and bushes, creating parks. However, farmers don't need any of this. Farmers need to obtain benefits from animals: eggs, meat, milk, wool, and feathers. The conclusion suggests itself. It is necessary to lower the animal intelligence below the level of rural sewage, so that the animals do not understand what is happening, and the cattle obediently return to their stalls. It is best to completely destroy animal intelligence, so that the UN would again allow their slaughter. How to achieve this? It is important to occupy all the animals' free time on the farm so that they have no time left for development and self-improvement. Scientifically, this is called time structuring. How to steal all their free time from animals. The first thing that comes to mind is to create a farm TV so that the animals on the farm watch zombie TV and get stupid from it. Naturally, this farmer's TV will not show anything useful, but will tell only about what the farmer needs. For example, which side of the trough is better to stand on, which schedule is best suited for eating and drinking, how to buy a place in a stall for a mortgage, and so on. Of course, animals must be provided with alcohol. Without this, they will not become stupid. And every 5 minutes they will broadcast on chicken TV that drinking is fashionable, healthy, and it has always been so. In case some animals don't want to watch TV, we will need to create a dream factory: Chickenwood. Chickenwood will make films and cartoons specifically for animals in order to make them as vulgar, materialistic, and immoral as possible, to impose values alien to animals, but useful for the farmer. Next, in the process of dumbing down, we need to create a school for animals. There is a saying: if you want to defeat the enemy, start by raising your children. The farmer will take care of this by separating the children from their parents, so that their parents cannot teach them anything, and the school will take care of their education. Of course, the school will be there in order to occupy all the free time of young animals so that they do not learn anything useful. You probably know that it is best to study at a young age, so it is important that the children of animals study a lot of unnecessary subjects that will not bring them any benefit in life. The curriculum, of course, will be written by farmers, and schools will talk about the theory of the origin of the farm, the history of the farm, the rules of behavior on the farm, and how to eat and drink on the farm. In other words, the animals will get the knowledge that the farmer needs, but not for themselves. In order for the beheading of animals to be complete, training should be mandatory. As for those parents who refuse to send their children to school, a shameful label will be hung on them and the children will be sent to boarding schools. In addition, a farmer can invent models of animal society. For example, he invents communism, where food is free and a place in the chicken coop and stalls is also free, and eggs are collected at night. The National Academy of Sciences is working tirelessly on this issue. Schools study in detail the science of the disappearance of eggs, providing evidence that eggs naturally disappear at night, and it has always been so. And sometimes on zombie television they show the Chicken Academy of Sciences, which explores the problem of the disappearance of chicken eggs. The general theory of the disappearance of eggs no longer satisfies many, and advanced poultry scientists are investigating this issue in modern laboratories, as they are about to solve this inexplicable mystery of the entire chicken coop. Zombie TV will tell stories about aliens from a neighboring farm stealing eggs. You can even imagine a conversation between two chickens.
I suspect that they keep us on this farm. Feed and water us for free just to steal our eggs,
says one chicken, to which the other responds,
You are a naive victim of chicken cutlets. It is obvious that you did poorly in school. It has long been known that eggs disappear by themselves, and people have nothing to do with it. The best scientists on the cultivation of chicken coops have proved this with the help of research. Go and read about it in the textbooks. Everything is written there. And don't forget to wear a foil hat.
Then the farmer can invent a new system in the chicken coop instead of communism capitalism. Here they won't lie to the hens about the eggs disappearing on their own instead. They will be given a little more knowledge. Capitalism means that 6 eggs and milk are paid for food and a place in a chicken coop or stalls. To get a legal place in the chicken coop, chickens need to contact the chicken bank. Take out a mortgage for 20 years and return 20 eggs to the bank every month. Sheep will have to donate their wool to the sheep bank every year for a place in a stall made of hay. Cows will have to take milk to the mooing bank every day to get a place in the stall and feed. Under capitalism, animals can open a business, buy, sell, and resell feed, as well as swap places in a chicken coop in an ideal world, creating their own society or state. All these games with animals benefit only people. The main thing is that animals should always be busy with something, creating corporations, buying food and places in the chicken coop on credit, and in their free time they watch zombie TV. People understand that the food on the farm is actually free, and the stall space is also free. But in order for the animals to be constantly occupied, you have to pay for everything. If the animals on the farm have free time, they can analyze the situation and understand something that is unacceptable to the farmer. To prevent the chickens from escaping from the coop, they will be brainwashed every day, convincing them that life is possible only inside the coop, while outside hunger, cold, and wild foxes run around to grab the chickens. The farmer receives an order for fresh meat. The farmer himself is not allowed to slaughter chickens. What to do? That's right, start a little war between the chickens, let them kill each other. Said done. Suddenly, chickens in chicken coops find weapons buried by the farmer himself, and flags and slogans are introduced to them. Some chickens live in the northern coop, while others live in the southern coop. On zombie TV, chickens in the southern chicken coop are told that aggressive chickens live in the northern chicken coop, wanting to take over the southern one. Then, unexpectedly, the doors between the chicken coops open and the chickens kill each other. When the UN Commission arrives, the farmer should just shrug his shoulders and say,
It's not my fault they kill each other themselves.
Of course, in the chicken coop, fertility will be maintained primarily due to housing and feed prices. You can invent chicken cigarettes, and suddenly it turns out that males of smoking animals cannot have offspring, since nicotine blocks a certain protein in the sperm that opens the egg. In animal schools, you can deliberately come up with even more unnecessary items so that female animals sit at their desks more, and the longer they sit, the more their pelvic organs deform, which makes childbirth more painful for them. Childbirth will be so painful that when they grow up, they will agree to have no more than 2 children. If the intelligence of animals grows too fast, you can fluoridate water and add Florimid to toothpaste, because increased intelligence eventually kills the cerebellum, and an animal with developing intelligence turns into a finished vegetable. The saddest situation for animals will rise when a person decides to close the farm. If animals cannot be killed, you will have to come up with sophisticated methods of destroying animals on the farm, in particular comprehensive measures. One of the first stages is to destroy the concept of family with the help of zombie TV, telling them that family life is boring and expensive, while living alone, going to discos and bars is cool and fashionable. Perhaps zombie TV did not harm animals before and did not develop them, but now the task of zombie TV is to harm animals by instilling harmful ideals and destructive attitudes in them. Naturally, it will be necessary to degrade and corrupt young people, for which animals will invent the internet and then social networks. The animals will create the largest social network for children and teenagers, which will also become the largest repository of porn films on the farmer's internet. The fact that the largest social network for children and teenagers contains so much pornography, including child pornography, will not confuse anyone because parents are constantly at work, trying to secure a place in the stall, and they simply do not have time to take care of their children. The largest communities of social networks will broadcast vulgarity, immorality, free relationships, and debauchery, since the task of these networks is to deaden, stupefy, intoxicate, and corrupt the younger generation. Next, it will be necessary to pour as much alcohol as possible into the animals' throats, 10 times more than before. Let the children of animals start drinking. The sooner and the more, the better. Drunk children enter into early sexual relations, animals get pregnant. And since an unwanted pregnancy is undesirable for anyone, animals will have abortions. And after an abortion, more than half of them will no longer be able to have children. Even more cigarettes. Allow almost all animals to smoke. Allow children to smoke, the more, the better. And, as we mentioned earlier, boys of smoking moms cannot have children. This is followed by vaccinations. For example, if in the past people vaccinated animals on a farm to keep them healthy, now they will start vaccinating animals so that they die faster. Vaccines now completely kill the immune system, so animals get sick more often. Other special vaccines will be specially developed for the gradual induction of infertility. Animals, since animals blindly trust doctors, they will not understand anything, nothing personal. Just a farmer abusing the trust of animals. If animals trust doctors, they can be injected with any drugs and used for any experiments. The prices of stalls and food will be raised so high that throughout their lives the animals will barely be able to earn enough for their place in the stall. Even more unnecessary subjects and homework will be introduced in schools. Let the animal girls sit at their desks for 8 hours a day so that when they grow up, they can barely give birth to one child in agony. Even more palm oil in food, let it be in all products, even in baby food. Palm oil accumulated in the vessels will separate and form clots that will get into the hearts of animals and kill them. More preservatives, flavor enhancers, and additives with the E code in food. The arguments boil down to the fact that a large field nearby, which used to feed everyone, will not receive any support, and everything will be written off to the economy. You should water the field with a large amount of the herbicide glyphosate to get more of it in the feed. On zombie TV, more ads for diapers should be shown so that the testicles of male animals are constantly kept warm, which will lead to infertility. A person on a livestock farm as an exploiter, civilizer, and parasite. Such a dominant position can be maintained as long as animals are stupider than humans. Once animals become as intelligent as humans, humans will no longer be able to control and exploit them. If the intelligence of animals exceeds the intelligence of people, the situation can turn 180 degrees and animals can enslave people. Therefore, on the farm, when the animals become intelligent, alcohol flows like a river and the zombie TV never turns off. How can an animal survive on a farm? There is no way to survive while the animal is on the farm. It is a slave to this system created by humans to prevent animals from becoming smarter, which would mean the end of this system. People will constantly come up with new ways to destroy them to survive in this system. Animals will have to react quickly to new human schemes. The only way for animals to achieve absolute freedom is to leave the farm, go to the forest, field, or build their own cottage village or community where they can manage their own destiny. They can take food and nourish themselves from nature, raise and educate their children as they wish. The offer to leave the farm and find freedom will be met with strong negativity and fear on the part of the majority of the inhabitants of the farm.
The farm is warm, there is food, and everything has been thought out and provided by people.
The farm has a hospital, televisions, and internet, while it is cold outside.
There is no light, no heat, and nothing is organized.
To start living differently, you need to turn on the brain. But many animals simply have nothing to turn on after alcohol, cigarettes, and zombie television. However, as soon as they leave the farm, they will begin to create, write music, sing songs, draw and teach their children as they please. They will make sculptures and plant trees, flowers and shrubs. In other words, they will understand who they are, what they live for, and what is the meaning of their life. The only thing they need to take care of is never letting a farmer into their little world. It's all. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give a thumbs up and leave your comments. See you again. Bye.